At this point, it's we're essentially family, and you don't get rid of your family. You deal with them. Yeah. You just have to deal with them, and I really think that's kind of, we somehow got to that point, and now that's just never going to change.
After 30 years together as a band, the Dandy Warhols really are a family. They have an incredibly storied past, having made friends with the likes of the Brian Jonestown Massacre, Pixies, David Bowie, and just about anyone else they've come across. Because you don't stay a band that long without doing something right. Their 12th studio album, Rockmaker, came out just last year, and the next release is already in the works. More recently, however, the band wrapped up a brief US tour with Kula Shaker, and I was lucky enough to see them for the first time since I was 10 years old. More on that later. But on the day of the show, Dandy Warhol's founding member and guitarist Pete Holmstrom was kind enough to sit down with me and answer some questions about the current state of this legendary, enduring band. I had a little trouble getting into the venue without a fancy lanyard, but I eventually got in touch with their tour manager, who got me in just before soundcheck that afternoon. We spent some time wandering the empty halls of the San Diego House of Blues.
There's a place in the building that'll be sort of quieter, so they can do an interview. Delta. Thank you.
Before eventually finding a good spot for a quick chat.
Aha.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Yeah, this will get you by, right?
Nice, yeah.
In the corner.
Sure.
Nice light up chairs.
Yeah.
Now, I did mention that soundcheck was about underway, so pardon any brief interruptions, but other than that, enjoy the interview.
I just wanted to start off by saying thank you so much for doing this. It
of course,
definitely means a lot. I'm actually from Portland.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, my first concert I ever saw was Dandy Warhols.
Oh, wow.
It was,
all right, nice.
I was like 10 years old. You guys played like a children's show at the Kennedy School.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was
Wow,
completely, it blew my mind. So
All right,
it's just
yeah.
Like,
So us bringing the bubble machine and the confetti cannon was a good idea?
Absolutely. And I'm like cartoons playing behind you guys, and I distinctly remember, I think you guys changed some of the lyrics to the songs to be more like kid friendly.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it was, man.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
That was it was Chris Funk from the Decemberists was kind of behind that. Him and his, I think, wife at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, it was like a bunch of children's performers, and then just like you guys.
Yeah.
I think it was like a recurring program.
It was,
but,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I remember, because I remember being jealous that we hadn't been able to do it, and then we finally got asked.
Was
so.
That the only time you did it, or were there other?
Yeah, it was the only time.
Okay, so I got pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess on that, you guys have been a band for 30 years or so,
Mm-hmm.
and just it's been a while, and so now you're at the point where you have full-grown adults probably coming up to you at shows saying like, I grew up on you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so what has that been like?
That's the amazing thing is like we have people that brought their kids to shows, and those kids are bringing their kids to shows.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's like it's a trip, and it's, I don't know, it's so not how I grew up. It's like I did not. I mean, I listened to my parents' music up to a point, and then it was absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's like trying to find things that they almost thought was offensive or something. Definitely trying to piss them off. So it's really cool that that kids and their parents are enjoying the same music.
Yeah.
And like that the coming to our shows is almost a family outing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fun for the whole family.
Yeah.
I'm not quite to that stage yet where I'm bringing kids of my own, so you guys, But when you and Courtney started the band, which would have been like early mid 90s in Portland. You know, at the time it was sort of like in the shadow of Seattle, and Seattle was kind of like, you know, where all the stuff was happening, and Portland obviously, you know, vibrant music scene, but it was kind of Seattle's like little brother. So I guess what did Portland feel like at the time as a music scene when you guys were sort of forming, and how would you compare that to now?
Back then, Portland definitely felt like it was Seattle light. You know, everything was kind of grunge light. It was not quite as much angst. Not, you know, everything was a little bit, I don't know. Everything felt a little more fun, for sure. Even like the bands that were trying to be maybe not fun were still they looked more, it was just a little more, I don't know, a little more relaxed, a little more like less, there wasn't really a uniform. Like people would go to thrift stores and just wear shit, like random stuff, and it was a little more playful. So when and I don't know, we were our whole thing was a reaction to that, to the Seattle sound kind of thing. So we were definitely trying to have more fun than anybody else, and look like it. Yeah. But and definitely pissed a lot of people off by doing that.
And do you think you like accomplished the having fun part?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. In the beginning, it was like just nonstop, like, you know, ridiculous fun. Yeah, for sure.
And then, you know, so you said in the beginning, did you sort of, was there a point where you started to take yourselves a little more seriously, or?
Well, we always took the music seriously.
Of course.
But it, I don't know. I don't know that we didn't take ourselves seriously. We were just having fun.
Yeah.
And I think people definitely thought that maybe we weren't taking it seriously, but the fact that we, you know, kept going and actually got out of Portland, whereas a lot of the bands we played with just didn't. Yeah. That says a lot right there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. And then today, you know, I guess I'm not too. You guys still sort of like record in Portland and hang out there a lot. Yeah. I don't know if you all still live there.
Most of us do. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel like you're kind of wired into the scene at present there, or not so much?
I don't think the Dandies really are even part of the scene.
Okay.
It's just different.
Sure.
We don't play enough in town to really be part of it. Yeah. I have some other projects that do play in town, and I still don't feel like I'm really part of the scene. You know, I don't know. I'm just not. I don't go out every night.
Sure.
I can't do that. I'm too old.
Yeah.
And I don't know. The scene is always, it's more for kids, and I mean that in the best way.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to be at the periphery.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you know, you're nearing the end of this tour of kind of like the Southwest with Kula Shaker. It's definitely not the first time you've played with them, right?
Oh, it is the first time we played with them, at least kind of on purpose.
Okay.
Like we were trying to figure it out if we've ever even like done a festival together, or like, but we've crossed paths somewhere back there, and but none of us are too sure where or when.
Okay. So I guess what do you like about, you know, touring with them? Was this billed as like a co-headline?
Kind of. It's more of a 60-40 kind of thing. Okay. So, but pretty much co-headline. It was, I kind of came through our booking agent, who I guess just picked them up quite recently, and I don't know, it just made sense.
Yeah.
It's like, I think our audience likes them, and I think their audience likes us, and the combination might get more people out to shows. At least that's the idea.
What have you seen of that? As like,
I kind of think this is probably the worst time to be trying to tour, just because I think everybody gave all their money to Oasis.
Yeah.
And then Air's doing shows, and Pulp, and it's
Sure.
just through here, and Spiritualized, it's just shows. It's like, come on.
And you guys aren't exactly. It's not like you're making a comeback or anything.
No,
Just-
we were
yeah.
here. I mean, we were in, not here last year, but we were in LA last year, and here the year before, and so it's like it's not like we've gone away.
Yeah.
So people are like, they'll be back.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the strategy.
Like, go away.
Yeah. Go away, and then people want you back.
We are kind of thinking about doing that or just to take a break from touring
Yeah.
a little bit, so we can actually get some records done and kind of figure a few things out.
Yeah.
Because this is a weird business.
But yeah, you guys are like very busy. Always have been a busy band, and you still managed to get. I think was it 12 albums, 12 studio albums.
Something like that.
Yeah, Rockmaker was.
Yeah.
You managed to, stay busy and to pump out a bunch of solid albums in here. What are you kind of hoping to get from taking a break from touring to really decisively, sit down, try to get some writing down, some recording down?
Well, we're kind of mostly through making a record right now that it's like the polar opposite to Rockmaker.
Okay.
And we're all kind of frustrated with the sort of the boundaries that we set on ourselves to make that record. So I'm looking forward to actually making a record where the songs just let us kind of tell us what they're going to be, as opposed to setting these like ideas of what it's going to be. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't know about everybody else, because this whole band's got different opinions about everything. So we shall see.
We shall see. You guys have never broken up.
No.
You haven't had any sort of public spats, at least.
No.
And you're all very opinionated people with different views. So how do you kind of? I guess what's the secret to like staying together as long as you have?
I think in the beginning we just swept lots of shit underneath the rug and ignored it, or did our best to ignore it. And at this point, we're essentially family. And you don't get rid of your family. You deal with them.
Yeah.
You just have to deal with them. And I really think that's kind of, we somehow got to that point, and now that's just never going to change. So.
Yeah. You mentioned that the next album is going to be like the antithesis of Rockmaker. I was reading some things about it online, and I guess aside from that, what more can you say about what people can expect from the album? I think
it's all different approaches to the kind of slower, more ambient side of music. Everybody in the band had a different idea of what that was going to be, so it is going to be quite varied stylistically, but the idea is that it's not rock,
right?
Almost.
So you think you all kind of had like an equal hand in creating it, or
maybe not yet,
okay.
but there's a lot that hasn't been done yet.
Okay.
So ideally that's the way it works.
Okay. Yeah.
So
coming up, you've got the rest of this tour. Going to take a little bit of a break. That next album's coming out at some point. I guess. Is there anything else that's sort of on the horizon for you guys?
Well, we've got. I think we're going to announce it next week. During the pandemic, we did the 30-second songs like once a week, where we'd record a song, make a little video, put it out once a week we did it for over a year. So there's like 56 or 58 something tracks. They all fit on one piece of vinyl.
Wow.
So that should be. I think the pre-sale should go up next week. And that's just it's a weird, like all those songs are, they're kind of thrown together, and it's like this little spurt, and it's like, it's kind of the seed of, it's like every song we do, it kind of has that little seed. So there's that little, like one verse and a guitar part or something. This is just those, essentially. So anyway, it's like 56 whatever odd tracks, all on one piece of vinyl.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see if anybody's interested in that.
The grooves are gonna look crazy. Just all the
Oh, I know.
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
And then I've also I've been compiling all the cover songs that we have done since we left Capitol Records. There's some that were just like B-sides of singles where they had no actual physical release, and there is no kind of record of them digitally anymore. And then some were never released, and other things ended up on compilations, some which were widely available, some hardly.
Yeah.
So I've compiled them all. Now I'm working on the sequencing, which is kind of difficult.
Yeah.
That'll be next.
Okay.
That should be early next year at some point, hopefully.
It must be a lot. You guys would have left Capitol Records in like 2000,
what was it?
2000s?
2008, something like that. I think whatever, Earth 2 was the first one post Capitol, or whatever, whenever that was.
Yeah, I don't know. But okay.
So yeah, it comes to like 3 sides of like a double record. So we've got a blank side, which is odd, but
it's got to etch something into it. Or
exactly,
yeah.
and that's the other thing. I got to figure out what the hell we're gonna etch on that. That's gonna be amazing. There's some songs that are they're so good. Yeah, I'm excited for people to hear those, because most people, maybe some of the hardcore fans have heard some of them, but nobody's heard all of them.
I probably haven't heard most of them. I'm excited to.
Yeah. There's some good ones.
And you mentioned sequencing for that one was tough. For the massive 30-second song, 50, however many there are, did you just sequence those in chronological order? Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, but the funny thing with that though is we had sent it off to the pressing plant. We got the artwork done. Everything's done. And the guy that helps us, or Mike at Little Cloud Records, he was sent me an email with 5 songs of suggested ones for using as a promo clip. And I told Courtney that, and he goes, "How about we use this song?"
Yeah.
And that song wasn't on the record. We're like, "Oh shit." And then we did some research and found out that we had just taken the Bandcamp playlist.
Oh yeah.
And that's what we went off. And turns out there was 5 songs missing that we had done that weren't on that. So we ended up making a little flexi disc to go in with it, with all the extra songs. But that delayed the whole thing, and that's why we were going to have it done for this tour. But because somebody was going to complain. Had to.
There's 5 missing.
The hilarious. We just didn't know.
Yeah. How could you? I mean,
It's too many songs. Yeah, and decided not to do any credits because that would require a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that just about covers everything.
Cool.
Yeah, really, really appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem.
This was a big deal. So
Awesome.
Hope you enjoyed that quick chat with Pete Holmstrom of the Dandy Warhols. As he mentioned, the band is going away for some currently undetermined length of time in order to finish their next album, but rest assured, they will return. And if you're in Portland and you missed them on that last tour, good news, the Dandy Warhols will be performing with the Oregon Symphony this coming Thursday, November 13th. For more interviews with other cool bands, visit youngsteryear.com, follow this project on Instagram @youngsteryear, and listen to these interviews anywhere podcasts are available. That's all for now. Once again, hope you enjoyed, and thank you for listening.